Welcome to Learning English from People.
A Life Between Yale and Hollywood, Jodie Foster. Most child stars disappear. They burn out or fade away. But one little girl was different. She was smarter, stronger, and wanted more than just fame. This is the story of Jodie Foster, the Hollywood star who fought for a real life, even when the whole world was watching her. Jodie Foster's story is about talent, but it is also about survival. She learned how to be an actress and a director in a difficult world. She also learned how to be a strong, private person. This is the story of a woman who built her own path, from the movie sets of her childhood to the best university in America and back again. She is famous for the intelligent women she played in movies, but her real life is her greatest success. Alicia Christian Foster was born on November 19, 1962, in Los Angeles, California. Her life was different from the start. Her father, Lucius Foster, left her mother before Jodie was born. Her mother, Evelyn, was called Brandy. Brandy was now alone with 4 children to raise. Brandy was a strong and independent woman. She had worked in the movie business before. She raised her family with her female partner. This was not common at that time. Their home was a place of female strength. Jodie learned from her mother how to be strong and to work hard. Jodie was a very smart child. She learned to read when she was only 3 years old. This intelligence would shape her entire life. Her career in Hollywood started by accident. When she was 3, her mother took her older brother, Buddy, to an audition. It was for a TV commercial for Coppertone sunscreen. While Buddy was trying for the part, the people there noticed little Jodie. She was quiet and looked very bright. They asked her to try, too. She got the part. Soon, a famous picture was everywhere. It showed a small dog pulling on little Jodie's swimsuit. This commercial made her famous. Before she even started elementary school, Jodie Foster was earning money for her family. Jodie's childhood was not like other children's. She spent her days on movie sets and in TV studios. She was in more than 50 television shows like Gunsmoke and Bonanza. She was a professional child. She understood how to work hard. She was serious and mature. Her mother, Brandy, was her manager. She protected Jodie and planned her career. Brandy made sure Jodie worked hard, but she also made sure Jodie got a great education. She sent Jodie to a special school called the Lycée Français de Los Angeles. This was a very important choice. At this school, Jodie learned to speak French perfectly. This skill was special. Later, it helped her work in French movies. She could talk to people from all over the world. Few American actors could do that. Jodie lived 2 different lives. In one life, she was a working actress in Hollywood. In the other life, she was a smart student at a difficult school. This became a theme for her. She was always moving between the world of movies and the world of ideas. She learned to be comfortable in both. In the 1970s, Jodie started working more in movies. At first, she was in Disney movies for families. One was called Napoleon and Samantha. On that movie set, something dangerous happened. A lion in the movie hurt her. It left scars on her back that never went away. She learned early that her job could be risky. Her mother, Brandy, was very smart about Jodie's career. She knew that many child actors fail when they grow up. They can't get adult roles. Brandy did not want that for Jodie. She knew Jodie needed to do more serious, adult movies. The perfect chance came from a famous director, Martin Scorsese. He saw Jodie in a small part and was impressed. He was planning a new movie. It was a very dark and serious film called Taxi Driver. He thought of the very mature young girl he had seen. The role was for a character named Iris. Iris was a 12-year-old girl who worked on the streets. It was a shocking and difficult part for a child. To get the role, Jodie had to see a doctor. The doctor had to say that she was mentally strong enough for the job. Her older sister also helped. She was Jodie's body double for some difficult scenes. Making Taxi Driver was a big change for Jodie. Before, she often played cute kids. Now she had to build a real character. She had to understand a life that was very different from her own. She worked with the famous actor Robert De Niro. He was kind to her and treated her like a serious artist. They practiced their lines together over and over. This movie taught her something important. She learned that acting was not just a job. It was an art. It was a craft that you had to study and respect. When Taxi Driver came out, it was a huge success. At the Cannes Film Festival, the movie won the biggest prize. The reporters were amazed by Jodie. She was only 13 years old, but she gave interviews in perfect French. She even helped translate for the director. Her acting in the movie was incredible. She was nominated for an Academy Award, the biggest award in movies. In one year, 1976, she was in 4 different movies. At only 14 years old, Jodie Foster was one of the most famous and respected actresses in the world. Jodie was a huge star, but she felt like something was missing. The world of Hollywood was the only world she knew. She wanted something more. She loved books and ideas. She wanted to have a normal life, a life she had never known. So in 1980, she did something that shocked everyone. At the top of her career, she decided to stop acting and go to college. She went to Yale University, one of the best schools in the country. It was her way of saying no to Hollywood. She was choosing her mind over her career. At Yale, she studied literature. She wrote her final paper on the famous writer Toni Morrison. In 1985, she finished her studies with high honors. She wanted to show the world and herself that she was more than just a movie star. She was a serious student and a deep thinker, but the world would not let her be a normal student. A terrible thing happened during her time at Yale. A man named John Hinckley Jr. had a sick obsession with her. He had seen Taxi Driver many times. He believed he was in love with her. Hinckley moved near Yale to be close to Jodie. He sent her letters and tried to call her. Then, on March 30, 1981, he did something horrible. He tried to kill the President of the United States, Ronald Reagan. When the police caught him, he said he did it to impress Jodie Foster. Suddenly, Jodie's name was connected to a terrible crime. Her face was on every television screen. Reporters followed her everywhere on campus. She had to have bodyguards just to go to class. She was part of a national story that she did not ask for. She had done nothing wrong. This event changed her life forever. It made her need for privacy even stronger. She built a high wall around her personal life. She did not want anyone to see inside. For many years, she refused to talk about Hinckley. She did not want this terrible event to define who she was. The experience was deeply painful. It taught her that fame could be dangerous. After Jodie finished her studies at Yale, she faced a new problem. She wanted to act again, but Hollywood seemed to have forgotten her. The world remembered her as a child star. They did not see her as an adult actress. She made a few movies, but they were not successful. It was a very difficult time. She was no longer a child prodigy, but she was not yet a leading lady. She started to think her acting career was over. Maybe she should go back to school and become a professor. She decided to give acting one more chance. The movie that changed everything was called The Accused. It was based on a true story about a woman who was attacked in a bar. The story was violent, honest, and difficult. The main role was Sarah Tobias, the victim who fights for justice. Many famous actresses said no to the part. It was too hard. The movie's producers were not sure about Jodie. They still saw her as the girl from Disney movies. She had to audition 2 times to get the part. She had to prove she could do it. The filming was very hard, especially the attack scene. It was emotionally painful for everyone. Jodie thought her acting was terrible. She was sure it would be her last movie. Jodie Foster was wrong. When The Accused came out in 1988, everyone was amazed by her performance. She was powerful, angry, and real. People saw the character's pain and her strength. It was impossible to look away. This movie completely changed how people saw her. She was not a child star anymore. She was a serious, powerful, adult actress. In 1989, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. It was a huge moment for her. After years of struggle, she was back on top. It proved that she had made the right choice. Her long, difficult journey had been worth it. She had fought for her career, and she had won. The Accused made her a star again. Her next big movie made her a legend. She read a book called The Silence of the Lambs and loved it. She especially loved the main character, a young FBI student named Clarice Starling. Clarice was a new kind of hero. She was not strong because of her muscles. She was strong because of her mind. She was smart, brave, and understood people. She had to face a great evil, but she used her intelligence to fight it. Jodie knew she had to play this part. The director was not sure at first, but Jodie fought for the role and got it. In the movie, Clarice must talk to a brilliant but evil killer, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. She needs his help to catch another killer. Jodie's performance was perfect. She showed Clarice's intelligence, her fear, and her courage. The Silence of the Lambs came out in 1991. It was a huge success with audiences and critics. It was more than a scary movie. It was a smart story about good and evil. The movie won the top 5 Academy Awards, which is very rare. Jodie Foster won her second Oscar for Best Actress. She was not even 30 years old. With 2 Oscars, Jodie Foster was now one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. She used that power to tell her own stories. In the same year she won for Silence of the Lambs, she directed her first movie. It was called Little Man Tate. The movie was about a very smart child who feels different from everyone else. The story was very personal for her. A year later, she started her own movie company, Egg Pictures. She wanted to make interesting movies, especially movies with strong women. She produced and starred in a movie called Nell. She played a woman who grew up alone in the forest and spoke her own language. She was nominated for another Oscar for that role. She also directed a funny and dark movie about families called Home for the Holidays. Through the 1990s and 2000s, she continued to choose interesting roles. She starred in a love story, a funny western, and a big science fiction movie called Contact. In that film, she played a scientist looking for life on other planets. Later, she returned to exciting thrillers like Panic Room and Inside Man. These movies were big hits. As she got older, Jodie became more selective about her acting. She wanted to spend more time directing. She directed a difficult drama called The Beaver and a popular thriller called Money Monster with George Clooney and Julia Roberts. She also found a new place to tell stories: television. She directed episodes of some of the best TV shows, like Orange is the New Black and Black Mirror. Her work as a director was smart and respected. Recently, she has started acting more again. She gave powerful performances in movies like The Mauritanian and Naiad. She also starred in the hit TV show True Detective, Night Country. For that role, she won a major television award. It proved that after all these years, her talent is as strong as ever. For most of her life, Jodie Foster kept her personal life completely private. The terrible experience with John Hinckley taught her to be careful. But over time, she slowly decided to share a little more of her world. She was in a relationship with a producer named Sidney Bernard for 15 years. Together, they had 2 sons, Charles and Christopher. Jodie has never told the public who their biological father is. She has always protected her children's privacy. In 2013, she received a special Lifetime Achievement Award at the Golden Globes. She gave a beautiful and honest speech. She talked about privacy, fame, and her life. She spoke about her love for Sydney, who was still her best friend. She did not use labels, but she shared her truth in her own way. It was a powerful moment. In 2014, Jodie married the actress and photographer Alexandra Hedison. They are still together today. She has found a way to have a happy, private family life while still being a public person. Jodie Foster is a person of interesting contrasts. She is a Hollywood star who has always felt like an outsider. She is a deep thinker who works in a world of emotion. She is a very private person who has spent her whole life in front of a camera. More than anything, she is a survivor. She survived being a child star, a difficult journey that many do not finish. She survived a terrible public event that could have broken her, and she has survived in Hollywood for over 50 years. She did not survive by playing by the rules. She survived by making her own. Her legacy is in the amazing characters she has played: strong, smart, and real women. But her true legacy is the life she has built for herself. It is a life of intelligence, strength, and quiet dignity, created by a brilliant woman who always chose to be herself.